name is Brittany, and my trauma does not define me. I'm a 17-year-old student from New York City. I'm Indian. My parents are from India with Portuguese roots. My parents moved here about 20 years ago, my dad and then my mom was 17, and they had me shortly after. It's hard to explain what it was like to grow up in New York. It's so diverse that you are able to just try so many new things, and when you have to live on top of each other, it's a practice in empathy. Before I had to deal with trauma, I wanted to be a food critic. I wanted to go around the world and write about it. But coming out of this trauma, I completely lost my voice. In the beginning of my junior year, a teacher I had put a lot of trust in made sexual advances on me. My classmates were constantly judging me, and I just did not feel productive as a person. And what are we without passions and without drive? The trauma that I had to deal with and the depression and the anxiety that I was struggling with, it made me hit rock bottom. I got connected to Womankind through my mentor. She could just see how troubled I was. She knew one of the therapists, Asana, and she thought that Asana would be the perfect person to be sensitive to my situation and help me pick myself up.
It's quite common for survivors to not have their voice validated. It's so important for trauma survivors to have autonomy over their own story. You lose power often through trauma, and getting back in touch with your own sense of power is incredibly important. So I'm going to ask you to look through these cards, and they're all art cards. So you're going to pick 6 of these cards that you feel like capture your story.
Putting these cards in order and assigning them a name and, kind of telling my narrative allowed me to find my own voice in the entire, situation.
Try this, it's so good.
Oh my God.
Following my therapy sessions, I was able to harness some of the best relationships I've ever had. The more I was able to open up to my friends, the more we were there for one another. I am so thankful to them. I learned from them, they learned from me, and it's given me so much hope for my future. While I was attending therapy, I was also in a women's leadership program through a nonprofit called South Asian Youth Action. I was provided a platform to be vulnerable for the first time since the incident.
For a second, this idea of focusing on simplicity, okay? I want you to focus on yourself. Turn your eyes inward. Be in your body right now, at this moment, and be satisfied with who you are. Say to yourself, I am enough. Even if you don't believe it yet, try and believe it. And just think about the fact that you're alive, the fact that you're breathing, the fact that you have a lot of love in this room. Okay, open your eyes.
I had been blaming myself, but it wasn't about blame at all. It was about recognizing what had happened to me in order to heal. I still have a lingering anxiety rooted in my trauma, but I understand now that even though my trauma lives within me, it doesn't have to define me. It's scary to think that we are the generation to solve the world's problems. That stuff is daunting, but imagining myself helping hundreds, thousands of other women overcome their own traumas, that's something that I want to be a part of.